Hey there, I'm Amelia. I'm 28 and absolutely crushing it in the marketing world here in the Big Apple. I just scored a promotion to senior executive, and life is looking pretty fantastic. My fiancé John is a sharp, ambitious lawyer, and together we're the power couple of our friend group. Now let's get into my family situation. My dad, also named John, has always been my rock. We're as close as they come, but then there's my stepmom, Karen, who's a piece of work, and my stepsister, Hazel. Well, she's a whole other story. Amelia, honey, have you thought about inviting Hazel to your engagement party? Dad's voice crackles through the phone. I sigh. Dad, you remember what happened at my graduation? He chuckles. I know, sweetheart, but she's family. Thinking back to when Dad and Karen got married, I remember Hazel making high school villains look like saints, always pulling stunts for attention, always competing with me. Fine, Dad, I'll invite her. But if she shows up in a white dress, I'm not responsible for my actions. He laughs, relief evident in his tone. After hanging up, I flop onto my couch, thoughts racing. Despite everything, I've always tried to keep things civil with Hazel. My phone buzzes. It's my best friend, Rachel. Girl, you will not believe what I just heard about Hazel, she says. Do I even want to know? I groan. Apparently she's telling everyone she's shortlisted for a Nobel Prize. I can't help but laugh. For what? Best drama queen. Rachel laughs with me. So, are you really inviting her to the engagement party? I sigh. Yeah, keeping the peace, you know. The night of the engagement party finally arrives. The restaurant hums with excitement, laughter filling the air. John wraps his arm around my waist as we greet guests. You look stunning, babe, he whispers, his eyes shining. I'm about to respond when I spot Hazel entering. She looks unusually pale, leaning on Dad for support. Amelia, darling, she calls out weakly. I didn't want to miss this. The night unfolds, but I can't shake the feeling something's off. Finally, it's time for the toast. Just as I raise my glass, there's a loud crash. Hazel has collapsed. Glass shatters as guests gasp. Dad shouts for an ambulance, cradling Hazel's head. When she finally regains consciousness, her eyes fill with tears. I didn't want to ruin your night, she says softly. But I can't keep it a secret anymore. I'm dying. The room falls silent, the air heavy with shock. In the days that follow, Hazel's condition is all anyone talks about. I find myself spending more time with her, torn by guilt as she confides her fears. I'll never know what it's like to fall in love, to get married, she sobs one night. Meanwhile, my time with John dwindles. Babe, we haven't had a date night in weeks, he points out gently one evening. I sigh, already reaching for my coat. I know I'm sorry, but Hazel needs me. You understand, right? Weeks pass, and Hazel's requests grow bolder. She wants to be involved in every part of the wedding planning, constantly changing details we've already finalized. One night, she invites me over for dinner, saying she has something important to discuss. As I take a sip of water, she reaches across the table, grasping my hand. Amelia, seeing you and John together has made me realize what I'm missing. I know it's a huge favor, but I want to know what real love feels like before it's too late. I blink, stunned. What do you mean? She takes a shaky breath. Could you let me date John? Just for a little while, to experience love before I go. I nearly choke on my water. Hazel, that's insane. John and I are engaged. We're in love. She bursts into tears, and I'm left speechless, wondering how we got here. I know, and I'm so happy for you, Hazel sobbed, her voice trembling. But Amelia, please, I'm never going to have that. Can't you let me just have a taste of it? As I sat there watching her tear-streaked face, a mix of anger, pity, and disbelief coursed through me. How could she ask this? And more importantly, how could I possibly respond? I can't believe I'm doing this, I muttered, my hands shaking as I dialed John's number. Each ring felt like an eternity. Hey, babe, what's up? He answered, cheerful as always. I took a deep breath. John, we need to talk. Can you come over? An hour later, he was on my couch, his expression puzzled. You're breaking up with me? Amelia, I don't understand. I couldn't bring myself to meet his gaze. It's Hazel. She's dying, John. Her last wish is to experience love with you. His face twisted in shock. What? That's insane. I love you, Amelia. I'm not going to. Please, John. I interrupted, my voice cracking. Do this for me, for her. She doesn't have much time left. He was hurt, angry, and confused, but eventually he agreed. As he left, it felt like my heart had been ripped out. The next few weeks passed in a blur. I buried myself in work, staying late, taking on extra projects, anything to keep my mind off John and Hazel. But I couldn't escape it. Each time I opened social media, there was another picture of Hazel and John. At a restaurant, the beach, a concert, and in every photo, she looked healthier. This doesn't make sense, I muttered, scrolling through her Instagram. Wasn't she on death's door a month ago? Rachel, my best friend, voiced what I'd been afraid to admit. Amelia, have you actually seen any medical reports? You don't think she'd lie about something like that, do you? I brushed her off. Come on, Rach. Hazel wouldn't do that. But her words planted a seed of doubt. I started noticing things. Hazel no longer mentioned doctor's appointments, and suddenly she was eating all the foods she once claimed she couldn't. My suspicions were building, but I couldn't let myself believe it, until the night that changed everything. I was dropping off some old photos at Dad's house when I heard Hazel's voice in the kitchen. Mom, you should see Amelia's face every time she sees me with John. It's priceless. I froze, pressing myself against the wall. Hazel, don't you think this has gone on long enough? Karen's voice sounded tired, exasperated. The girl gave up her fiancé for you. Isn't that enough? Hazel's laugh was cold, a sound I'd never heard from her before. Are you kidding? This is just the beginning. By the time I'm done, I'll have everything Amelia ever wanted. The job, the man, the life. And the best part? She handed it all to me on a silver platter. And your illness? Karen pressed. Please, as if I'd actually make myself sick. It was all an act, and Amelia fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. My world spun. I felt sick, betrayed, furious. Hazel had been playing me, manipulating all of us. Rage propelled me forward as I stormed into the kitchen, phone in hand, recording. Karen followed, wide-eyed and silent. Hazel's expression shifted into fake innocence the moment she saw me. Amelia, what's going on? Cut the crap, Hazel. I heard everything. Her face dropped for a split second before she regained her composure. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? I shot back. So you didn't fake a terminal illness to steal my fiancé? Karen tried to interject. Amelia, let's not be hasty. Shut up, Karen. I snapped. I heard you too. You knew the whole time. Hazel's mask cracked and she sneered. Fine, you want the truth? Yes, I faked it. And you know what? It was almost too easy. Poor, gullible Amelia, always doing the right thing. I felt like I was going to be sick. Why, Hazel? Why would you do this to me? Because you always had everything, she spat. The loving dad, the perfect career, the amazing fiancé. I wanted that. I deserved that. I shook my head in disgust. You're pathetic, both of you. I turned to leave, but Hazel grabbed my arm. You can't tell anyone. You'll ruin everything. I yanked my arm free, meeting her gaze with steely resolve. Watch me. The next few hours are a whirlwind. First, I show the recording to my dad. He's devastated, angry, and shocked. I can't believe this, he mutters, his head in his hands. My own wife, my stepdaughter. Then comes the hardest part, calling John. He answers immediately. Amelia, what's wrong? John, I need you to listen carefully. I play him the recording. After it ends, there's a long, heavy silence. Oh my God, he finally says. Amelia, I'm so sorry. I never should have. Save it, John. Just save it. Next, I do something I never thought I'd do. I post the recording on social media, tagging Hazel, Karen, and everyone who needs to know the truth. The fallout is immediate. My phone blows up with messages. Hazel's boss calls her, furious over the deception. Karen's friends start unfriending her, and whispers follow her everywhere she goes. In the midst of the chaos, John shows up at my door. Amelia, please. I was an idiot. I love you. Can we start over? I look at him, this man I once thought I'd spend my life with. No, John, we can't. You left me so easily. That's not love. Days pass. My dad files for divorce. Hazel loses her job. Karen can't step out in public without facing people's judgment. Then my boss calls me into her office. I brace for bad news, but instead, she smiles. Amelia, we're impressed with how you handled this situation. We'd like to offer you a promotion. It's in our London office. I'm stunned. London? She nods. A fresh start. What do you say? A month later, I'm boarding a plane to London. As I settle into my seat, I reflect on everything that's happened. Yes, I lost my fiancé. Yes, I went through hell. But I also learned who my real friends are and how strong I can be. Now I'm off to start a new chapter, free from toxic people and full of possibilities. As the plane takes off, I smile to myself. Hazel and Karen are back in New York, desperately trying to salvage their reputations while I'm soaring toward a brand new life. They say living well is the best revenge. Well, watch me live my best life, one that Hazel could never fake. The story ends here, folks. Now, I've got a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have given your fiancé to your dying stepsister? Or would you have seen through the lie from the start? It's a tough call, right? On one hand, compassion. On the other, suspicion. What would you have done differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.